What's going on, everybody? We're back for episode 5 of Smith's Grove Sanitarium podcast. I'm John,
And I'm Josh.
and today we're going to be talking about part 2 of our ongoing discussion of the Scream series. And this week we kind of got a good one and a bad one. We got Scream 4 and Scream 5. So lots of Scream news lately with the new one coming out, Scream 6. It's kind of the trending thing, so felt kind of good to go back and talk about those. But yeah, I guess before we get into that, so what's new with horror news lately?
Well, I see some people have seen Scream 6 already. And I didn't see anything spoiler-wise, but I did see Drum Dums reviewed Scream 6. Just kind of briefly, gave some brief thoughts on it, nothing in depth.
Mm-hmm.
But he said he did not like it. So
Really?
that was interesting because everyone else that I've heard said they really liked it. Dead Meat said that he really liked it. So I don't know, but I thought that was interesting because normally I like Drum Dum's opinion on stuff. So I don't know. I don't really know where I stand with this. I don't know if I'm because Scream 5 I expected to be bad, and then I was pleasantly surprised. So I don't know if I kind of feel that same way with this. I'm kind of going into this with low expectations. So it doesn't really, it might wow me. I don't know.
Yeah, that's weird. I saw it's got like an 80 or something on Rotten Tomatoes, and I know that it seems like most people have said good stuff so far, but you never know until I guess it drops. I mean, a lot of people, from what I've read, have been saying that it's better than 5, and I liked
Well,
5.
yeah,
So,
that's good.
yeah.
You know, I saw some people on a Facebook page. I'm not going to say what it is, but it's people that are big fans of Scream movies, and they ranked Scream 6 as their second favorite.
Wow.
However, they also have Scream 4 as their next favorite, and Scream 2 is always the second worst. And I'm like,
Yeah.
so I don't necessarily trust that opinion at all. So
No, man. I don't know. I don't see how. I mean, Scream 2's got to be higher, I would think.
yeah,
I,
and resoundingly, Scream 3 was at the bottom of every category they ranked all the movies on, and I'm like, really?
that's weird. See, I don't think Scream 3 is that. I don't know. I don't think it's that bad. I kind of like it, but
No, I don't think it's that bad either.
well, I saw there's been like this whole thing, ghost face sightings. Have you seen this? Like everywhere, people are seeing like ghost
No.
face in the streets. Yeah,
Oh, what
all
the
over the
heck?
news. Yeah, there's like
No, I haven't seen that. What the hell?
people randomly dressing up like Ghostface walking around. You can see them on like Ring cameras. You can see them on like CCTV cameras. I don't know. It's kind of creepy, but also kind of cool.
It's kind of cool. I like,
Yeah.
but at the same time, it's like people going to see movies. Like that same Facebook page, I saw a guy that saw the movie, and he posted. He's like, "Oh, some people were freaked out by me." It was just him sitting in a costume, beside regular people. But it was a very accurate costume though, with the sparkles all over the robe and stuff.
Wow. Yeah, I don't know, it's kind of a weird um series in that everybody can sort of dress up this way and put this on, and it's kind of also had that life cycle of, it's coming back now, it's popular, but for a long time it was sort of a joke with the Scary Movie series and all. It was kind of like a funny thing to see Scream.
Yeah,
So it's almost like when people wear that, you're just kind of like had this mixed reaction, but it's scary in that so many people can dress up that way. And it's kind of
yeah,
like a perfect thing to do if you were like a crazy person, right? Because you could
yeah.
dress up and just,
When's it gonna get so meta it's real?
right.
that's the that's the scary thing. So I don't know. Hopefully,
Yeah.
never. But I would never say never.
That's the thing about these new movies. I feel like they're going to that, but in a way, that is what's terrifying, is it's not that far off from where people could be if they take this
Yeah.
too seriously.
Yeah. I hope not. But God,
Yeah.
kind of whenever we get to Scream 5, we could talk about that.
Yeah, I don't want to see like a real life Mickey. That wouldn't be good. Like,
No,
we don't need that.
we've already had enough real life Mickeys.
Yeah, I saw there was a few things lately. I know that they were talking about the Nosferatu remake in the news. And I think Willem Dafoe is going to play what is it, Count Orlok in the movie.
Uh-huh.
So that's kind of cool. That's kind of funny because he was in that movie Shadow of the Vampire, which was
Playing Max Shrek.
yeah. So it's kind of a funny
Yeah.
full circle for him. But
That was a good movie too. I liked that movie, and I'm excited about that because Robert Eggers, he's a really good director. So I think that's gonna be really good. And I think Willem Dafoe's a great choice to play Nosferatu because to me, Nosferatu, that's a creepy movie,
oh yeah.
and I'm excited to see it done in a new light. That'll be fun with a very competent director. So I'm excited about that.
Oh yeah, I really like The Witch, and I was a big fan of The Northman, that film he did last year. I liked it a lot. It was kind of odd, but it was kind of like a weird Conan type movie. So I think he can
Well,
do it.
me and my brother always called the witch the Vavitch because it's like two V's. Like, what?
Yeah, that's funny.
Oh man. Other than that, I don't really know of anything else new coming out movie wise. I mean, it doesn't seem like there's a lot of horror coming out this year, really, that I know of. That's like big titles.
Yeah, so I know that it wasn't really this week, but I was reading up on Salem's Lot. Have you heard about this, the remake?
Not really. I just know they're making it. That's really all I know about it.
So it was apparently already filmed. It was made in like 2021, and they did
Oh
reshoots
wow.
last year. And it's kind of an odd. I didn't see a lot of people in the movie I recognized. They didn't really announce who was going to play like Count Barlow or anything.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, it does look like from what I've read, they were saying that it's going to be very faithful to Stephen King's novel. The director, I'm not really familiar with him, Gary Dauberman. I'm trying to think of what he's even done. Oh, he did the Annabelle. He did 2 of the Annabelle movies. So.
Which ones?
Let's see. He directed.
Because one of those is good, actually. The first one is abysmal.
Let's see. He directed Annabelle Comes Home from 2019.
Oh, yeah, that one's not that good. The second Annabelle is pretty good.
Yeah, I agree.
Surprisingly.
Yeah, Creation. Was that it?
Yeah, I was like surprised. That I was like, wow, that was actually kind of good. Just like that Ouija 2 was actually pretty good.
Oh yeah, I remember that one.
That's like how do they have these sequels to horrible movies and they're better than the originals?
It's kind of weird. It's like the Fast and the Furious thing where they kind of get better as they go along in a way. It's odd.
And Mission Impossible too.
That's probably the best example of that. Mission Impossible gets progressively better every year. And the first one was done by Brian De Palma, which is crazy. And now these later ones are just amazing. Like the last
Well, it's
two
weird because like
crazy.
the first Mission Impossible is pretty good. The second one's all right. And then the third one's just like
Right.
And then the fourth one's like just skyrockets. The fourth one is so good. I love that. That's my favorite one. But
was that Ghost Protocol?
Yeah.
That's the one that starts in the prison where he's like in the prison and he's breaking out or something.
Yeah. Yeah. And then he's like climbing on the outside of the tower.
That's right.
That one is so good, man.
Nice.
I love that movie. But anything else coming out? Any physical media or anything you've seen coming out that you're excited about?
Nothing really. I'm still waiting on Martin and still kind of going back and forth on the Texas Chainsaw thing. I need to get it. I know
you gotta get the Second Sight one, man. You can't get the dark. I mean, the Dark Sky one looks cool, and I'm sure the transfer isn't going to be any different or very slightly different. So, I mean, if it's all picture quality, I just care about the package. Really, that's my biggest thing.
Yeah, that Second Sight one looks sick, man. Did you get the deluxe one or the standard?
Yeah, I did. I had to get that because I regretted not getting that Dawn of the Dead one. Like that freaking drove me crazy. I got the standard 4K of the Dawn of the Dead one, which is still cool, but it's not got that like big ass book with it. So I'm like, I ain't missing out on this. Like, I didn't get Drive either. I wish I would have got that. That one was pretty awesome.
Yeah, I love Drive. I didn't get that either.
That movie is so damn good. And you know what? My friend actually, he owns one of the jackets that Ryan Gosling wore in Drive.
Oh wow, that's pretty sweet. Yeah, man, that's
I
a
bet that
really
sell for a lot of money.
oh gosh, I can't even imagine. I mean, that movie's very I don't there's a lot going on with that movie. Like it's kind of a thriller, it's kind of action, and it's kind of I remember when he at the end of it when he puts on the mask, the stunt mask, and he goes after Ron Perlman and like kills him on the beach. I remember when watching that, a lot of people were like were reviewing it after. They were talking about how it reminded them of Michael Myers, like the way he was acting in that scene, which is kind of funny. But I guess it was. He was acting very slow and methodical, but
that's a really good movie. It's a fun movie for sure.
But yeah, I mean, I'm trying to think. Severin Films. So we were talking about this a little earlier. They've got a few things coming out, like re-releases. They got Burial Ground they're doing on 4K. They've got House on the Edge of the Park on 4K. I don't know. I go back and forth on Severin. I mean, I don't have much of their stuff. I don't most of the stuff they put out now, like Birdemic and things, I just don't care anything about. But I know that
I forgot about that. I own Birdemic. I forgot they even put that out.
Oh, did you get it?
I have it's like an old release they did, but yeah, I have that. But I mean, that first movie is really funny because it wasn't really meant to be bad. But then all the other ones where it's like, if you're trying to make a bad movie that's so bad it's good, it does not work.
No.
You don't have that magic with like The Room or a Birdemic, you know. And then Tommy Wiseau's like, it was supposed to be bad. No, it wasn't.
No, you have to be genuine. You have to have that mentality of wanting to make a film. But the idea is that you have the passion. You're just not good at what you're trying to do. But that's what I mean. Yeah, absolutely. Because so many people try to do that formula and it doesn't work. You know, you gotta. It's like what Sharknado did. Like Sharknado's okay, but Sharknado was too in on the joke. They were like trying to do that too much, you know.
Man, I need to get this Caligula set they're gonna put out. It's like, what?
Are they really? Because I saw that they had done something with Caligula. I didn't know if it had come out or not, but I remember they were doing. It was like the Untold Story or something.
Yeah, there's like never before seen shit that's come out. But with like Burial Ground, House of the Edge of the Park, I don't have. So maybe at some point I might actually get that. But like Burial Ground, I have the edition they put out before, which is like, I don't need to see Burial Ground in higher definition. Like,
no,
it's unnecessary.
No, you can see Peter Bart biting on some booby in 1080p. I think.
Yeah, that's perfectly fine. I mean, at some point, like those horrible masks throughout the movie. I mean, I'm only gonna see them, you know, worse and worse every time. I mean, they're probably like $10 masks.
That movie is like, and I've thought this ever since I saw it. It's kind of like almost a Fulci movie. It's not a Fulci movie, but it's almost, and it's one of those movies where I feel like Fulci watched it and he's probably pissed off as he was watching it because a lot of the gags in there would have been stuff he would have done. You know,
they basically were just trying to make Zombie. That's pretty much what they were trying to do. I mean, and it's crazy because you know Zombie has like a million sequels too of like what the Severin puts all those out. The freaking. These freaking zombie movies are like, what in the hell are these?
Wow. And see, I've never seen any of those. I've always wondered if any of them are good.
Oh, he made Zombie 3, kind of. He made it, and then like he didn't finish it, and then Bruno Mattei came in and finished it.
Oh God.
And then Claudio Fragasso made Zombie 4. So that tells you everything you need to know.
Bruno Mattei. Cruel Jaws.
Oh man! And then Claudio Fragasso. God, that guy's a freaking trip. But he did make one of the best movies ever, so I can't complain too much.
Yeah, I still need to go through. I've seen I think I've seen was Zombie 79. I've seen most of it. I'm not sure I've seen all of it all the way through, which is shocking to say.
Oh, it's so damn good. And then you're missing out too because you've got to see the. Okay, this is so damn stupid. You got to see. Shit. Where is it? Zombie 6.
What? Zombie 6.
I kid you not. There's a Zombie 6. Zombie 7. I sent you that link to that Zombie 7 video.
Mm-hmm.
It's Zombie 90 Extreme Pestilence.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my god. Where in the frick is this at? Hold on. Let me find this freaking DVD over here. God, it's so freaking stupid.
Zombie 6 Monster Hunter. Is that what it's called?
Yeah. And it also goes by this name, which is aptly titled Horrible.
Horrible.
Which is also in itself, this is not only a sequel to Zombie 6, it's also a pseudo sequel to his other movie, Anthropophagus.
Oh, he did that too. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
that's
like,
actually, that movie. Did you watch that when Joe Bob showed it?
no, but I saw that movie forever ago, but I'm sure Joe Bob had some fun things to say with that.
That was the first time I finally watched it because I'd heard about it, and it's kind of slow. Like that movie, there's only like the violence is at the very end. It's like a very slow build, but that end scene is
my favorite part.
crazy.
Yeah, is at the end where he eats his bubblegum tape out of his stomach.
Yeah, George Eastman was like a giant too. He was like 6'7" or 6'8" or something. He was a big guy.
He's the main guy in this Horrible, also, and same director. And you know what? The same director went on to later make another movie called Anthropophagus 2000 in the year 2000, which I have no idea how that is.
Wow. I'm looking. He was
that's like bottom of the barrel.
Anthropophagus 2000. I'm gonna have to look that up. I see. He was 6'9". That's kind of nuts.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy. And it's just like some dude who was sitting at a freaking boat and decided that he had to eat his own family. And then for some reason, eating people caused him to like get Play-Doh all over his face. I don't know why.
I know, it's like too much protein or something. He's like got white all over, and yeah, that movie is very strange. And like the beginning of it, when they're walking down like the sidewalks, and all of a sudden he just kills the couple out of nowhere. It's just like it's very bizarre.
The movie. I mean, honestly, the movie is okay, but like, I don't know. It's fun to make fun of.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I guess I don't really have anything else.
I got some releases that I got. I'll show off. I've talked about them before, but I can actually show them finally. So here's my Dentist 1 and 2 Festron. Thank God. I went to like 4 Walmarts and finally found it.
Oh, sweet.
For some reason, I just didn't want to order it online. I like the thrill of the hunt.
That's fun to see it. Those are really good movies too.
I need to watch them. I haven't seen the Dentist 2 period, so I really don't know anything about it.
It's good. I mean, I think the first one, I don't know. I mean, I watched them both when that came out, and I like them both, honestly. Like, they're just very fun 90s. I mean, they're 90s horror. It's just a lot of fun, quirky, odd humor. The music is very mid-90s, and it's Brian Yuzna, so it's a lot of that.
For some reason, it reminds me like a lot of 90s movies like blend together for me, like Wishmaster and like like you were saying, those Brian Yuzna, like his like Reanimator sequels and stuff. Like, I don't know, it all like feels like the same movie.
Yeah. This is like the Dentist 1 and 2 are like, and this might not make sense to you depending on what you were doing in the mid-90s, but for me, it's like the epitome of the movie that would have come on at like 4 in the afternoon when I was at my grandma's house on like Encore. It's like right after like, Full House, like it's like The Dentist, just some random horror movie.
I see exactly what you're saying. It's like something that would have came on USA or something like in the middle of the day.
Yeah, or what we talked about before, Children of the Corn, the sequels.
Yeah. It's like that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So
coming on at 6:30 on TNT.
Right. Exactly. So I think you'll like it.
And then I got this.
Sweet. It's a good one.
So cool. I love this package. It'll fit nicely next to my second sight Texas Chainsaw.
Very cool. I haven't opened mine yet, that one, but I have it too.
And then I got this because I had to get that.
Which one is that? Oh, The Evil Escapes. Okay, is that the one with
It's the one with the lamp.
I'm trying to think. The Evil
Escapes. Yeah, it is.
Okay.
It's the one with Patty Duke with the lamp.
Mm-hmm.
That's all you need to know. Evil lamp. That's all.
Yeah.
And then I got this.
From Beyond. Sweet.
Which is apparent. This is sold out. So now people are on eBay and being like, $150. It's like, come on.
Damn. Is it already? Because I didn't get that. I thought about it.
I think it was like 1,000. But I mean, you can still get it without the slip. But I mean, look how cool. Look how cool that looks.
It's pretty sweet.
$150, right? You got the FOMO yet?
150, and people are paying 150 just because of the slip.
God,
that's crazy. So that movie, I like that movie. For me, all I can think about in that movie, and I've seen, it's just been a while, is the pineal gland thing and the doctor guy, one of the guys in the movie grabbing Barbara Crampton, like groping her. Like, I remember that. I can't remember much else, but I remember that,
I always just remember that poster because I remember the Dead Pits video where they did their posters and they show off the poster from Beyond. And Wes goes, "Humans are such easy prey." That poster is so weird, man. Like, it looks so weird. It makes you think it's like an alien like movie or some shit.
Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about. It's like it's very much like a sci-fi looking poster.
Yeah, it looks like Belial on the front of it or something. It's like weird looking.
Yeah, and that's one that often, I think, just because of the time of when it was made, it's very compared to Reanimator because it's same director,
same people,
same time. It's kind of like the 1-2 of like Reanimator and that movie is what you'd watch. So I need to rewatch it. It's been like probably about 8 or 9 years since I've seen it. So
it's probably been longer for me, honestly. But I remember it being really good. And Reanimator, I haven't seen that in probably 10 years.
Yeah. Yeah, I love Reanimator. One and I haven't seen the third one, but the second one, Bride, I think Bride Reanimator is really good.
Yeah, I haven't seen the third one either. I think I own the third one. I have no idea. I think it's in like one of those like multi-packs.
I'm not sure who did that one either.
If it was even Reanimator.
Beyond, yeah. I don't know if that was Brian Yuzna or Stuart Gordon.
Yeah, it was.
It was
Brian Yuzna. Yep.
Yeah, that first one's the best though. That's just classic.
And then it comes with this pack that I got. It comes with freaking Return of the Living Dead 3 too. Another great Brian Yuzna movie. I need to get that Vestron Blu-ray of that. I really need that. I didn't get a lot of those Vestron Blu-rays, like the first ones they put out, they were like $25, $30 or whatever. They still have them, but for some reason I just haven't gotten, like, sometimes I have a hard time spending that much on a movie. Sometimes I don't. Like From Beyond, I got that Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2, but like I want Slaughter High and Chopping Mall and Maximum Overdrive. But I just haven't pulled the trigger on those, and I need to. I'm just hoping they'll like re-release them at their $11 price point, like they release everything at now.
Yeah, I missed a lot of that too. I don't have those. I've got the newer ones, but I'm like you. I missed the old ones, and I'm trying to think. I have Blood Diner. That's one of the older
Yeah, see, I
ones.
don't have that one
But
either. Like, those are some great titles, and I want all those. Like, I think I have all those movies on like DVD, but I want them on Blu-ray. And they're all cool looking and shit.
yeah, they really need to drop those because, like you said, they're all still like $30. The old ones, they don't ever drop down for some reason. I don't know why.
They probably paid a premium to get the rights for some of those.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, I guess we can jump in. I am very curious. I know. So I'll let you go first. I'm really curious. So we watched Scream 4 and 5, and what did you think about? What's your thoughts on Scream? When did you first see Scream? I'm Scream 4. When did you first see it? What did you think about it? And then kind of watching it again, where do you stand with it?
All right, so I first saw Scream 4 when it came out. I saw it, I think, maybe opening day or day after it opened. And I can't really remember where I was at in my headspace. Like, whenever I saw it, if I was expecting it to be good, bad, indifferent. I can't really remember. And I can't remember what people were saying about it at the time. I know the Scream fandom loves Scream 4. And then I watched it, and I roundly hated it. Like, I thought it was really bad. And like, not necessarily like a really bad movie, I thought at the time, but just like really bad compared to the other 3 Scream movies. And so then I rewatched it. But I'll let you go ahead with whenever you first watched it. What did you think? And then we can talk about what we thought this time.
I remember I've seen all of them in theater, and this one was random because it was 2011 or 2010. I think it was 2011.
2011.
And I was living in Nashville first time, but I wasn't. It was before I moved back for a while. Then I moved back again. But I was on the way home from Mississippi to Nashville, and it had come out. And I ran. I don't know why I did this. This is so odd. I found a movie theater in Alabama. I was driving through like Muscle Shoals or something, and I saw Scream was out, and I was like, "Oh, well, I need to go see that." So I just randomly went to like a 2:00 showing in a town that I didn't live in on the way home. And at the time, I think I wasn't as big into the genre as I am now. So I think at that time I was a little more forgiving. I remember watching it. I didn't love it, but I was kind of like, "Oh, it's a Scream movie. It's fun to see this again." So I didn't really think much about it, But watching it again now, years later, oh yeah, I hated it. But yeah, I'll let you go first.
Oh, okay. Well, I gotta say, I came into it, didn't like it. I actually really loved it this time. It's my favorite.
Really?
I'm just kidding.
I
No, I
was
didn't
like, what?
No, it was still bad.
What a twist.
I will say I didn't like hate it. Like, I didn't think it was like an awful movie.
Yeah.
But again, I like the first 3 like way more. But like, I don't know. It's just, we're going to talk in detail about the movie, but nothing to me screams like a great movie. Like, Scream 4 does not scream to me that it's good.
No.
Like, I don't know. It's just kind of bland, I guess.
Yeah, man, I guess hate is probably strong. I could watch it again, but I just, even from the opening, it's oh man. And that's what's so weird to me about this. I mean, Wes Craven, came back for 4. And this opening, they're trying to do this meta thing where it's a movie and a movie and a movie, and they're like, and it's a fake out on the opening, and then no, that's a movie, and then no, this is the real movie. And that just is so like, that's too much for me. It just took me out of it. And then,
immediately.
Yeah.
And my wife was watching it with me, and she's like, "What is going on?" And I'm like, "No."
Is,
No.
is she a fan of this stuff or not really?
No, not really. We watched the first one together before. She hadn't seen 2 or 3, so we watched 4, and, I was like, "Hey, I'm gonna watch this. We're gonna talk about it on the podcast." And she was like, "Okay, well, I'll watch it with you." And, like, that happened, and she's like, "What is happening? Is this a movie or is this not a movie?" And I'm like, "I don't know."
I'm not sure. Well, and
She's
it
like, "Did that
starts.
really happen?"
Yeah, it just gets going, and I think the problem is when it gets to the movie, Ghostface Ghostface calls the girl, one of the first girl, and it's so fast. Like he gets on the phone and he's immediately like the voice is intense. He's like coming after her. She's immediately it's like bam right into it. And that automatically was a problem because it's like Ghostface in the original and in 5 and in a lot of them, it's kind of a slow progression in that sense. And in this one, because it's been years since, you would think it would be, but it's like it jumps right into it. She's scared, she's running. I was like, this is
I'm
just,
trying to remember what the hell that even was. I just watched it and I can't even remember like what happened. Like
well,
I
okay,
just remember the fake outs. Like I remember the fake out is like he kills those 2 girls, and then that girl stabs that other girl. That's the second fake out. And
yeah,
then
yeah.
what
And
was the
then
next thing?
the third one is the two girls are watching the movie that was the meta movie, and then they
Oh
get
yeah,
the
and then
phone
she goes
rings.
upstairs. That's right.
Yeah. And the phone rings and he answers and he's immediately like, I'm gonna gut you like a fish.
He
You
says the
know, like,
same thing that he said in one of the Stab movies too. Did you notice
yeah.
that? The same
Oh
exact
yeah.
line. I can't even remember what it was, but it was like the same exact line. I was like,
Yeah.
"What?"
It was just too and then the kill and then the opening, it's like opening with the music the open with was lame and it was just it's like immediately it's like this is in the 2010s. Like this movie
Yeah.
opens and you're like, welcome to 2009 or 2010.
I
It's
think
like,
that the opening is probably the weakest one of the 4 that we've talked about. Like,
yeah.
I mean, Scream 3's wasn't like phenomenal, but I mean, I just that fake out thing where they did it twice. If they did it once, that would have been more effective, I think. More than they did 2 fake outs. It
Right.
makes you makes the actual opening lose like validity because you're not sure if it's actually real or not.
Yeah, that's exactly by the
It
second
plays
one.
more for laughs.
That's really all it is. It's laughs, yeah.
Yeah.
And I think it's just I don't know. That's like starting out on a bad note. And people talk about 3, but 3 had a good opening. 3 was like, I mean, a ghost face, he calls Cotton Weary, he's kind of talking to him. It's kind of a slow thing, and then it's intense. Like the opening to
Mhm.
3 is it's pretty well done, honestly. And this one, like you said, it's like the worst. It just you're immediately just like, oh, this is what we're in for.
I hate the opening to Scream 4. It's just bad. And I mean, this scene there's a scene in this movie which we'll get to, but oh my god, there's one scene in this movie that I hate. I
Interesting.
hate. We'll see if you can guess what it is.
Yeah, the first thing that struck me in this movie, watching it again, was
The
I re-
character's glowing.
well that, but I will say I feel like they messed up not making Kirby the lead in this movie. Kirby was the better lead. Emma Roberts to me is just like not that doesn't have much range, and I just feel like Kirby, if you tweaked her character a little bit, she's a way better actress for this. She could have pulled off the lead way better. Emma Roberts is just like, even in,
Honestly, everybody praises this movie for Emma Roberts. I feel like that's what I see. Like people that love this movie love Emma
really
Roberts. Hmm.
weird.
They think she's like great in this movie, but I feel like she's hardly in the movie until like the end. Like she doesn't do anything
Mm-mm.
in the movie. Like that her character just sits in her house, and that's like it.
Yeah, pretty much. It's just kind of like she's just backseat to it. And I mean, these high schoolers in this movie are terrible. Like they're just so
Yeah,
Oh my gosh.
Everyone's unlikable. I don't like any of them. I mean, the only one I kind of sort of like is her boyfriend for some reason. Just because
Oh,
he's an idiot, and then he's like the red herring like Billy, but then it turns out he's just a straight up idiot.
was it Trevor? Was that his name?
And I feel so bad for that guy. Oh my god, I feel so bad for him.
Yeah,
He had the worst death. Jesus.
I'm remembering it now.
Oh man.
Yeah. I don't know that. Yeah, the high schooler's like the girl who's the friend who gets killed next door, and they see it. That was it was like they hired an Abercrombie model. It was just like she's not even an actress. Like
she has no character. There's no character. And like people are like, oh, that kill was so brutal. This ghost face was serious. And I'm like, what, because the room's covered in blood? He disemboweled her. Well, he did that in the first movie, if you remember, the very first kill.
Right. Exactly.
I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, in the first movie, and you actually had Drew Barrymore to do, to be there.
Yeah, I had somebody that had a character too. A lot more of a character in one scene.
Yeah, something I did notice this time that was interesting, little things is, in spoilers, the killers in this movie are Emma Roberts, aka Sydney's niece, and Charlie, aka
Kevin's brother from Home Alone.
Yeah, Kevin's brother, exactly. What's his name?
Rory
Culkin. And he was weird too. God. Like he was doing this like Stumacher, like what's his name from part 2? Mickey thing. I don't know. And like there was something about the way he moved, like even he was just odd. His hair was odd. There was something about him that was just weird. I couldn't I was looking at him, but it wasn't a good thing. I was just like,
I'll say this. There's approximately a 0% chance that Hayden Panettiere's character would have ever actually been with him.
No.
Like there's no chance that was actually like a thing that could have actually happened in real life.
No, that would never happen. I mean, that was probably the most unbelievable thing in this movie. No,
I don't know. There's one scene that I hate, but
so one thing I did notice too was like with Jill, I noticed in her room, and this may not have meant anything, but she had an American Werewolf in London poster in her room. And her character in this movie is not really a horror fan. She's just like a normal person. Kirby is a horror fan. So I thought that was kind of odd because I didn't know if that was intentional or if that was just them set decorating,
She had some other shit up on her wall too. I can't remember what it was. It was like some band posters.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what is that?
Yeah. And maybe
I'm a big fan of like 90s rock, I think.
Yeah. And that could have been just reading into that. Maybe that meant nothing. I saw that and I was like, is that like a hint that she's crazy or something? But I don't know.
That is a good point though, because her character she really didn't have much of a character.
No.
The very end, she really doesn't have much of a character at all. Like Mickey isn't really in Scream too much, but he does have a character. And like Roman has a character. She is just kind of there. Like, again, like I was saying, she doesn't really do much. And I feel like there's no real character until her reveal at the end.
Yeah, she does. I remember there was one thing too that's weird. So when they see their friend, I think it's Olivia across the street die, before that happens, and so this stuff has already happened in the movie. People have already been getting killed. They know that Ghostface is out there. So Kirby and Jill are in their room. And Jill prank calls Olivia and acts like the Scream killer for a second. And I'm thinking, why the fuck? Why would you do that? Like, Sydney would never do that in part 1. Like, when you're in that scenario, you're not going to be like, hey, we're just joking around, even though our friends are getting killed. Like, what? That was, I don't know. That was
I don't
odd.
know, man. That was so stupid. I was wondering. And then they have that scene where it's like a car crash PSA where they're like, just a screeching halt.
Oh man. So I got to know, you were talking about what's the scene that you hate? I got to hear about this.
What do you think? We'll see what you think. Any guesses? There's one scene that takes me completely out of the movie. It's so stupid.
What
And
I
whenever
have,
I saw it, it was so damn stupid.
well, I'm trying to think. One of the things that I saw that was like really dumb this time was when the assistant is in the garage and Ghostface is at the car and she's in the car and she gets out of the car. Like all she had to do was stay in the car locked, but she gets out of her car and he gets killed. I thought that was very stupid, but I don't know if that's what you were thinking.
No, it's dumber than that. It's okay. It's the scene where the cop gets stabbed in the forehead.
Oh, yes. Okay. Yes. Yeah, where he's like can't see and he's like, oh
Yeah, and he's like doing all this shit. And then he just decides to say F Bruce Willis and then falls over dead. I'm like, did you have to put that in there? Come on. Like that takes out any legitimacy the scene may have had.
yeah, I forgot about that line you just said. That was really stupid. That was dumb. Like,
Yeah,
why would you say
to
that?
me, as soon as that was uttered, even the first time I saw it in theaters, I was like, nah, man, nah, this is bad. Because then it's like, again, like the opening, it's like taken away from the scariness of it. It's like there's no, you're telling me that this is like not real, basically.
Yeah. And that's I mean, that's like the least thing you would ever do if you were gonna die. You would never make a joke.
Why would I say that? Like, oh my god.
No, and some of the things like I thought it was weird, like when Jill's mom. So when they're in the house and Jill and Sydney are trying to leave, Jill's mom sits against the door and Ghostface stabs her in the back of the
The
head.
mail slot.
Yeah, like, and what does she say? She says, "Tell Jill I'm so sorry." And I'm thinking to myself, what are you sorry about? Getting murdered? What did
I'm
that
sorry,
mean?
I got killed.
Yeah, tell Jill I'm sorry. That was just weird. Like the
Who had a
writing.
mail slot in 2011, anyways? Right? Come on.
That's also a big odd
Oh
point.
my
Yeah,
god. He stabbed her through the mail slot.
that's so
Why?
dumb.
Why didn't he stab her through the door?
Oh man. Yeah, I mean Jill.
Get down on the floor. I'm like, why? What was the plan after that?
For real. Like, I do think, Jill, I guess she didn't have a lot to do in this movie, but I feel like Charlie, when you rewatch this, he pretty much gives like every hint in the world that he's the killer. Like he is just creepy and odd. Every time someone says something, he makes like this weird comment and this smile, and you're just like, dude, like what is wrong? Like it is so obvious the second time around. First time, you just don't. Everybody's kind of acting weird, like everyone's making a joke of them being murders. But that one, it's like you can really see him like smirking a lot in the movie, and like kind of giving a little bit of a hint that something's going on. But yeah,
It is painful, dude. It is so painful. I just don't get it, man. That character is so bad too. Like he's not good.
no,
And then they're like at the video club or whatever they're in, the movie club or whatever, and he's like talking about remakes and stuff, and he's like, the killer's gotta have a camera, and then the killer has a camera in that one scene, and he's like, look, I got all the footage. Whenever he killed that one guy with the freaking
oh yeah,
that wears the camera on his head, and he's like, I'm gay.
does that count?
Come on, man. Like, oh my god.
So I will say, oh sorry,
That was okay. Like, see, that's a level of humor where I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
Except that, but whenever you have somebody getting stabbed in the head, swinging around and goes, F. Bruce Willis, and then falls down. Okay. Okay. All right. No.
No. I think that is the worst scene in the movie. I'm thinking about it. That was really dumb. I think I did like the end. I mean, the one thing about the ending that I liked the hospital sequence and that how they got Jill. I enjoyed that. But I will say Jill kind of had a perfect plan at first, right?
Mm-hmm.
She thought it through. She rips her hair off, runs on the wall, stabs herself, falls on the glass table. But it's funny, all that planning, all she had to do,
Was
all
kill
she
Sydney.
was kill Sydney. Make sure Sydney was dead.
But then again, at the
You
same
know?
time, let's say that she didn't, or let's say she did kill Sydney. And then she said that about Gail, and Gail's like,
Oh,
how did
right.
you know that? So she still screwed herself either way.
That's true. See,
Because
that would have
Dewey
been
knew immediately. She said that, and he was like, oh, shit, and took off running.
Yeah. Yeah, that was definitely a dumb move on her part. I think if I'm looking at the whole movie, that's the one thing in the movie that I enjoyed was the hospital sequence, just because it was just kind of like a funny way to kill somebody, like with the shocking her. And I don't know. I've always kind of enjoyed the end of these movies when Gail and Sydney sort of double team somebody like that. It's just
See,
kind of funny.
I liked it a lot. I thought it was really entertaining. I think that's the best part of the movie.
Yeah.
But then, oh my God, whatever she said, I thought it was great up until she's like, clear. She's like, what? Clear. She does the thing. I'm like, fuck, man.
Right. On the nose.
Really?
Man.
Oh God.
Well, a lot of this, there were a lot of scenes in this movie that had that comedy in it. Like there was one scene where Gail said something and it was like a comedic score after. And thinking about it now, Wes Craven used to do that. Like in Last House on the Left, he did that. Where he would do these serious things, but then he would put this wacky stuff in the movie dispersed, So I don't know if maybe that was him trying to do that again, because it was way more noticeable. Like, I know that Scream 1 through 3 had humor, but to me, the humor was more just like character humor. It was more like, it was kind of just a funny reaction. In 4, it's almost like sitcom stuff where you're like, why would you say that? Like,
well, it's like planned humor. It's like, they're writing punchlines for stuff. Like a whole like setup and punchline.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't need this.
Yeah. Like one of my favorites was in the first one when Stu is like, liver alone, get it, liver. I don't know why I always laugh.
Yeah, and then stuff like that, like just that movie's funny moments in the movie, in the situation where he's like, my mom and dad are gonna be so mad at me. Like, that's funny.
Oh yeah.
But I mean, at the same time, it's like, super serious, like, oh my God, that movie, man, it's just no count, man. It's not good.
Yeah, I would say it's definitely the worst in a series for me. I don't even know what I would rate it. I mean, like, it's like if I had to, I'm gonna give it maybe like a 5 out of 10, maybe.
What did I give Scream 3? I think I gave it like a 3.5 out of 5.
Yeah, let's see.
I would give Scream 2 or Scream 4. I would give it like a 2.
Yeah, I'd say 2.
2.5, maybe.
Yeah.
I'll go 2.5.
2.5.
Like, it's a mediocre movie.
Yeah.
It's not a horrible movie, but in comparison with the other movies, it's not good.
No. So, I guess in contrast to that, what's your so Scream 5 comes out, right? Comes out 2022. How did you feel about it then, and how do you feel about it now, given you've had like a year to sort of process it? What's your thoughts on Scream
honestly
5?
As soon as I got done watching it, I feel the same way that I felt then. I didn't really have to like digest it much. I got done with the movie and I was like, that was pretty good.
Yeah.
I was very surprised. I was like, I liked that. And I can safely say that I still enjoy it. So
yeah, I'd say same. It's like for me, um, it's somewhere in it's somewhere around 3. Like, it's not as good as 1 and 2, but it kind of competes with 3 in ways. Like, in ways, I think it's better than 3, and then in other
Mhm.
ways, I think 3 is a little better in other ways. So it's kinda I would say it's 3rd out of the list, but 3 and 5 just kind of battle it out. So I can't
I would
really,
agree. I would agree with that. I would give the first movie 5. I would give the second movie 4.5.
Mhm.
I would give the third movie 3.5, and then 2.5 for the fourth one, and the fifth one I would give it a 4. So like right in the middle of 3 and 2.
Yeah. Yeah, I would agree with that. It's kind of, there's a lot of things about the 5th one that I think really worked. I mean, the first thing I love the opening. The opening
Mhm.
is way better than 4. Like, that's the first thing I noticed was, like, the opening scene is shot well. It's slow. When he calls Tara, it's slow. Like, he's just talking.
Mhm.
He's pretending to be a friend of her mom's. Like, it's very just it's like the first one. It's easing you into
Uh-huh.
this thing of like, oh, it's just some guy trying to get a hold of my mom. And
Right.
so much time has passed that I kind of found it believable that she wouldn't be scared because, in a sense, like, she's young. She might not have
Mhm.
even remembered that or known that stuff besides hearing about them being stab movies. So
Uh-huh.
she's not going to be on her guard. She's probably just like, okay, who do you need? Like, so I kind of thought that really worked. What did you think of the opening? Where you
I
fall?
liked it, and I liked the spin on it where she lives through it. I
Mhm,
thought that was really cool. I like how they changed that up a little bit. Instead of it being an opening kill,
mhm.
it's a great scene, but she lives through it. I thought that was really neat.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. That was good. I mean, because they definitely made you think in the trailer she was going to be like Casey Becker, like that
Mhm.
was going to be that again. But it was funny when he called her. His voice is so subtle at the beginning. You don't even,
Yeah.
as an audience, you almost don't notice it. Like, it's not gravelly. It's just very like subtle, and then he just builds and builds and builds,
Mhm.
and that's amazing that, like, these directors figured that out. Like, they knew watching they I think they went back to the first and they were like, okay, we understand what made this work. But yeah, it's
Yeah. I mean, I like it. I thought the opening was really good. It doesn't like it's not as good as the first two, but I mean, other than that, it's pretty damn good. Huh.
yeah, I noticed how when he was, in this one, he's giving her the quizzes and he's like, question 1, question 2. I
Mhm.
noticed that when he asked about the killers, she answers Billy Loomis, leaves out Stu, and it's
Mhm.
wrong. And he's like, wrong. There were 2 killers. Now, I know that obviously in this movie, Stu is not in the movie, but I just keep feeling like, and I know everyone talks about this, when they put something like that in the movie, I feel like that's the directors trying to say, like, we haven't forgotten about this.
Yeah.
We're not forgetting about Stu. And I don't know if they're ever going to bring Stu back, but that line was very interesting. How it was like she wasn't wrong, but they went out of their way to say no, Stu was a killer
I
too.
I wouldn't be surprised if they did bring him back because at this point it's kind of like one of these like Marvel movies or something where people are getting so hyped up about the reveals and shit. These movies are so big now.
Hmm.
Eventually they're gonna be like, oh, we're gonna, the fans want him back. And
Yeah,
it's gonna like make a ton of money. So I mean, I don't blame them, I guess. That'd be
yeah.
kind of fun.
I would be interested to see how they do it if they did. I mean, the bad thing about these movies is that they're realistic, right? So what sucks is you can't bring all these killers back. Like, it would be cool if there was a way. I mean, this is like fan fiction, but it would be so cool if they could bring back like all these killers in
Right.
some way in like one movie, like Billy and Stu and everyone. Like, that would just be like crazy. But
I like how
obviously,
they have I like how they have all the stab movies that are mentioned in this. Like they're talking about all the stab movies. It's so weird to me that they didn't end stopped making stab movies whenever the director of the third stab movie was a killer that was trying to kill Sid Prescott.
That's right. Roman was the director of Stab
Yeah.
3. That's right. Yeah.
Like, and he killed like the whole cast of the movie. You would kind of think they would have been like, you know what? Maybe we shouldn't keep making these.
That's funny.
Like, could you imagine if that happened in real life? Like I don't know, fucking David Gordon Green killed Jamie Lee Curtis. They're like, you know what? Let's make another Halloween movie. It's fine.
Oh God. Yeah, and this one was definitely, it was poking fun at this movie was poking fun at like fandom, and it was poking fun at like new horror. They even said elevated horror. So they were definitely poking fun at like Jordan Peele and all that. Yeah. It's kind of funny. I will say, one thing I noticed watching this again is the beginning attack is definitely Richie, because when she opens the door and slams it on him, you can hear him grunt, and you can actually tell it's him. Like, I didn't notice that until now, and I was like, wow.
And I mean, if you stacked them up side by side, there should be a massive height difference, because like she is way smaller than him.
Yeah.
I mean, she's way smaller than him.
Yeah,
but she's the one who apparently kills Dewey. So,
oh yeah,
I don't really know how she did that. That's a lot of strength to, like, basically bisect a man. I mean,
yeah, Amber. That was, I don't know. I mean, she was creepy, and the thing about it is, like, she had creepy vibes throughout the movie. And I mean, I could see her being a killer, but I agree. Like, how the hell is she gonna be strong enough to lift Dewey up with some buck knives? I mean,
I don't know. And me and my friends saw this movie in the theater when it came out, but it was like a matinee. It was like the middle of the day, and we're the only ones in there. And we talked the whole movie. We were like talking, just like, whenever stuff would happen, I'd be like, hey, what about this? Or what about that? And we called Richie being the killer and Amber being the killer like pretty early on, and that did end up happening. But it made me kind of sad, because I didn't want Richie to be the killer, because I feel like his character is really likable. Yeah. Like, I really wanted to like him, but I just knew he was going to be the killer.
Yeah, like, he was so, well, he had a little bit of like Randy in him a little bit. And he was, it's funny because he does, like you said, well, he kind of gives himself away, because all this stuff's happening, and he's the boyfriend, but he's sitting there on his phone watching the Stab movies. And it's like, could you be any more suspicious?
I like that whenever he's like, he's trying to play like the idiot. He's like, I have never seen these before. Let me watch these. And he's like talking. He's like, did you see that or whatever? Like, he's talking about them and making jokes about them and stuff. But like, then like Dewey, they call him out like early on. They're like, what about you two? You two weren't here or whatever. And it's literally them.
Yeah.
In the room with them. I'm like, wow.
Yeah, they did.
And Dewey's also like, it's probably the boyfriend. You need to keep an eye on him. Like,
man, yep. Yeah, I felt really, honestly, I love Dewey, and I think he did great in this, and I see why they did it, but honestly, I wish that he would have lived and they would have just killed Gail.
I wish they would have killed Sydney.
Or Sydney. Yeah.
To be honest, because that's what I wanted from this movie. I said, kill these legacy characters, but damn it, if you're gonna kill any of them, Dewey's not the one I wanted to die.
Exactly. I mean, he went out like a hero. Dewey.
But at the same time, he went out like a hero. But it's like, okay, his character was on a high at the end of Scream 4. He's a sheriff. He's got his wife. Everything's all good. And then what happened? Like, they got divorced and all this shit. Like, he's like living in like a trailer. Like, what happened? Like, how did this happen? So he dies like a sad sack. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, he's like pulling bagels out of his fridge, eating them and spitting them out.
Yeah, like, what happened to him? Like, I feel so bad for his character. His character never was like at peace.
Yeah, he I don't know.
I guess it was because they split up in real life. They're like, well, I guess we don't need to have them together.
Yeah, I forgot they did date, didn't they? Or they were
Yeah.
married, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's. I think, and it's weird because he goes out like a hero, but then he kind of does something stupid, right? Going to check, and then the phone rings, and it's ironic because in a way, it's like Gail's the reason he dies because she's calling him, and he looks down. I it was
Yeah.
kind of a Dewey moment, like his death, which I don't know. I'm with you. I think killing Sydney or Gail would have worked. Dewey, I hate they had to get rid of him because he's definitely a fan favorite. So
I mean, I love Dewey. He's so cool. I mean, he's the lovable idiot, and of course, he had to get murdered horribly.
yeah,
Like, jeez.
it's bad. Even watching it again, I was like, damn, man, like they literally gut him. Like I was like, oh, that's brutal. I did think, and this is kind of like four in that I don't mind Sam as a lead. I think she's fine,
Mm-hmm.
but I think Tara's better. I do think Jenna Ortega as a lead is a little bit, but she's a better actress. So I feel like she could have been a better full on lead in the movie. I guess it wouldn't have fit the story the way they did it, but I just felt like that was a flip, when they cast them.
Well, they played that one thing off a lot whenever she kills Richie or whatever, and they really play into the Billy thing with
Oh,
Sam, the
yes.
connection with Billy, and like, okay,
How do you feel about that Force Ghost stuff? Yeah.
I could do without it. I kind of wish,
Yeah.
first off, they didn't need to like digitally de-age him. I don't think because it
No.
looks kind of bad.
Right. Exactly. Yeah.
But like, I don't know. I mean, it is what it is. I mean, damn, Richie just gets destroyed. But
Yeah. Like, how did you? And this is what kind of confused me about it was they're showing Billy, but how would she know what he looked like? She was born after he died. And like when they were showing pictures on the Stab documentary, you see that picture of Billy where he's like standing there with the white shirt. Like, who is taking pictures? That's the one thing about these is I'm like, okay, how would she know what he looks like? How would she have this image in her head of who he looked like on the night of his death? How did they get random photos of him posing like a GQ model in his white shirt? Like, I was like, what?
oh man, that reminds me of in Friday the 13th Part 5 where he just has a photo of Jason. Where the hell did they get that? Where did they get that? Who took that?
Like who's gonna live through that, right? Take a Polaroid and walk away.
That was a brave person took that photo.
Man.
Oh man, but yeah, you're right. It's like, what? Who took these like headshots? It's the same exact thing in that new Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie. Deadpit did a watch along, and I was like commenting on it while they were watching it, and like the scene, it shows Leatherface on a documentary on the gas station, and it shows like a picture of him wearing like the killing mask, but nobody ever saw him in that.
Yeah.
Ever. Nobody saw him in that. So like, I don't know where they got that sketch artist that got that. I mean, I guess Sally had a really vivid memory of exactly what he looked like whenever he started sawing through Franklin's face.
Right. Yeah, that's true, right? I mean, that's one of those details that I always notice, and I get it's probably not important on in the movie to the people making it, but it would be so much more believable if it was like maybe them
legit
from the back, or maybe just a random picture of something.
Yeah,
like even with Billy, if it would have been like a picture of him as a kid or something, or Billy when he was younger.
Yearbook photo,
exactly,
like
right. I don't know. I mean, I will say the one scene in this movie that I think works and it's pretty sad is the Wes and his mom Judy.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of sad, man. Like that whole thing, and she's going home to try to save him, and I was like, damn, man, that's kind of
he was a cool character too. I liked him.
Yeah.
That's the biggest difference between this movie and the movie before that is the characters are so much better,
Hmm.
like roundly better. Like I actually liked like pretty much all of them.
Yeah, for sure. All of them, even the twins, like Mindy and Chad. I thought they were.
Yeah, they
I
were
didn't have a
cool.
problem with them. You know.
And and again, Richie, I think is really good. I like Richie more than Amber, but I mean, I just feel like he played it off so well, and I feel like he's so likable. And then whenever you figure out he's the killer, it just really flips everything,
Yeah.
you know. Whereas in previous movies, all the killer reveals, I mean, they're not really like I didn't like love any of the killers, you know what I mean?
Right.
Like I wasn't like, oh, that they're a funny character. But in this movie, it's like, oh, I actually really liked that guy. So it was like kind of sad. That's like, oh man, he's the killer.
Yeah, he was likable, and I think they did a pretty good job of. Well, I mean, he had suspicious actions, but
Mm-hmm.
they did a good job of like doing fake outs with him, and
Mm-hmm.
where you didn't know exactly when if it was him or if it was going to happen. Um, I don't know. Amber, I I kind of had a notion about Amber just because she was one of the Manson people in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, and
Yeah, she just looked mean.
yeah, and of course they set her on fire just like in that movie.
Yeah.
And I was like laughing. Like right when I saw she was in this movie, I was like, I bet she's
She got it
yeah,
bad. She
yeah.
got it bad. And I was like, oh my God. Oh man. But you know, it helps that you know, Richie Jack Quaid is in The Boys. So of course he's great in that. So
Oh yeah, I love The Boys. We're gonna have to talk about that too. That's a great show, man.
So
Yeah,
like it's hard not to like him whenever he's already a super likable guy in that.
yeah, he's kind of a. This was definitely a gets tight for him. He's never. I don't know if he's ever played a killer like this in a movie. So, but yeah, it's weird. I kind of wondered the logic of why they were doing it was a little odd. Like they're meeting on the Reddit subreddit, and they're just fans. They're wanting to make a movie. Like I kind of thought the logic was a little weak. I don't know how you felt about that. Like I was like, I mean, I can believe it, but also I'm kind of like, I mean, it's a little
Yeah,
bit
the
much.
motivation was a little thin.
Yeah.
But I mean, you know, I'll take it over Sydney's cousin's jealous of her.
You're right. Yeah, that was so stupid. That
Who's
was
so
this.
jealous of the fact that you get all this attention? You've lived a horrible life where you literally can never have peace because someone tries to kill you like every few years. Sounds like a great life.
Oh god, yeah, she was literally in that four. She was like doing a Marsha thing. It was just like really. But I think in five, I thought that the look of it, it looked more like 1 through 3. It
Hmm.
felt more like Craven's original trilogy. It
Yeah.
looked better than 4. I felt like it just had like a feel that was similar to the old ones.
Yeah, they weren't all like they didn't turn the lights on 100
No,
this time, which was nice.
no. And one thing I thought was funny though at the end I noticed was, and I guess this always happens in these movies. I just really noticed it here was, Sydney gets stabbed, Gail gets shot, Sam gets stabbed in the side of her like stomach.
Hmm.
And at the end of the movie, they're not even going to the hospital. They're just hanging out at the ambulance. Like, you okay?
Yeah,
Yeah. I'm like, that was the only thing I was like, damn, are they like they're
they're
just
just
acting like it's
they're
nothing.
Terminators. That's what I felt
Yeah.
really bad for for Jenna Ortega though, because like the whole time she was like destroyed from the beginning of the movie.
Oh yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
oh man, made her even more vulnerable. Like she could barely move.
Yeah. She got, what was it at the beginning? She got like her foot stomped on or something, or ankle like cracked. I was like,
Yeah,
ugh, that's
yeah,
brutal.
it was. It was. I always hate that in movies where people like break bones and shit. Like I could see somebody get their guts spilled. Once you start breaking bones, I'm like, oh, I can't watch this.
Dude, that's always the gnarliest. That's
Like
always
in
the hardest.
Halloween Kills, whenever he freaking Allison goes down the steps and like breaks her leg. I'm like,
Ugh. Yeah.
No thanks.
Rough. But I mean, overall, this movie, I really like it. What are your overall thoughts on it as a rating? And is there stuff you particularly like? Would you say there's things about it that don't work? I mean, I can't really say there's much that doesn't work for me. I like it. I don't know. It definitely works.
I would agree. I would say it's really good. I don't think it's like great. I think it's good. I think it's perfectly fine. I think it's, an enjoyable movie. It doesn't like wow me, blow me away or anything, but it's perfectly fine. If we got several more Scream movies that were like it, I would be more than happy with that. That would be fine with me. Because I mean, I will say this, the middle quality for Scream is better than a lot of horror sequels. I mean, the fact that that's a fifth movie, that's better than a lot of fifth movies in a lot of series. I mean, way better. So I can't complain too much. I mean, it's pretty enjoyable. And again, I'd give it a 4 out of 5.
Yeah, I would have to agree. I'd say 4. 4 out of 5 is accurate. I mean, yeah, and you're right. I mean, you compare this to like Nightmare on Elm Street 5 or Halloween 5. This was a better movie than both.
Yeah, and I mean, I like Friday the 13th Part 5 a lot, but like
sure.
Scream 5 is a legit, it's a good movie, Friday the 13th Part 5, I like it, but is it a legitimately good, like, art? Probably not.
No, I'd say Friday 5 is a good cult movie. It's fun, but it's probably not intentionally a great movie.
No. I mean, you can only get so far whenever you got a porn director as your director.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, Danny Steinman. Yeah. Wow. But yeah, I mean, I think I'm glad this brought it back. I'm glad that this movie made money because they can make Scream 6 and maybe Scream 7, hopefully. I was glad to see this come back just because I felt like if this series had ended at 4, it just would have been a damn shame. I feel like if it ends at 4, all people would have thought about was, oh, like scary movie. And it's like, no. Like, and this movie kind of like moved past that and was like, no, this was actually like a real slasher film series, right? So
right.
I hope that I don't know how you feel about what you expect from 6. I hope 6 is better. I hope it's great. But I don't know. I don't have any expectations. I just hope whatever they have planned, if it's 2 more movies, I hope it's good, So
my expectation is I just want it to be as good as 5. And if it's as good as 5, I'll be very happy. But I mean, I have honestly I just don't have much faith in it, but I don't know. Might be a little cynical of me.
No, I mean, you just never know with these things. I mean, even with Wes, with the originals, he had a drop off at 3, and then at 4, it was really a drop off. So I don't know. I mean, these guys, these directors, I know they did what is it? Was it called Ready or Not? Was that the movie they did? Which I like that movie. That's pretty good, but you just never know. It's like usually with these series and these trilogies, if they have a plan and they can stick to it, it works. But I feel like if it's like Halloween where they have a plan and they do a little bit of a 180, like in Halloween Ends, like you don't know how it's going to land right with people. So I don't know.
The budget for Scream 2022 was $24 million. Which seems kind of high, but it made 137 million. So
holy shit! Wow,
it made quite a bit of money.
Wow, that's really good though for that budget. That's actually great.
Speaking of which, I wonder. I can't remember what Halloween. I wonder what Halloween Ends made. I know obviously none of the Halloween movies made as much as the first 2018 because for some reason they decided to do that releasing them on Peacock, but
Right.
it made $104 million.
What was the budget?
Let's see. It was $33 million.
33 million. Yeah, I mean,
So, I mean, it tripled its, and I'm sure, I don't know what the agreement is with Peacock, but I'm sure they made quite a bit of money from that too. So,
yeah, interesting.
because that probably got tons of viewers and subscriptions to Peacock. Like, I know I got Peacock to watch that. I watched that in the theater, and then I got Peacock to watch it again. So,
oh yeah, it's the same. I got it. That's exactly why I got Peacock, because I was
well,
like,
they had a deal I saw whenever I got it, and it was like Peacock for 1 year for $20, and I was like, okay, that seems like a good deal. I still have not logged in ever since I watched Halloween Ends, though. So
that's funny. You're right. I think I did that. I don't know. I guess I might have done that. I'm like you. I haven't used Peacock since like November, October. So, wow. I don't know. I hope that I've heard a lot of things about Scream, what they're gonna do, and these ideas, and I don't know what's real, what's not. One thing that I always have heard, and I don't think this is spoilers because this is just people have speculated for years, is I've always heard that eventually they're gonna do this idea that maybe there's multiple Scream killers, there's multiple people working
together as like a unit.
Yeah, or like they don't, or like there's a unit, and then I've heard that they're maybe working like, out of sync with each other. So there's like multiple groups of them going against each other. So I don't know if they're ever going to do that. That could be an interesting movie to see, like all these killers, and you just don't know how many there are. You don't know who's coming next. Because eventually they're going to run out of ideas, and they're going to have to make it, interesting. I just hope they don't do something ridiculous. I hope whatever
I
they
want to see. I want to see a Ghostface either survive at the end of the movie into another movie. I think that would be really cool. Or I want the reveal to be like mid movie or something.
Yeah, that's actually
some characters know who it is and stuff, but they're still going around killing people, and they're trying to like hunt them down or something. Something like that. I feel like would be a cool twist to the movie. It could make it go in like, because like what if in the middle of the movie they figure out who it is and they're like trying to warn people and trying to like stop him from killing other people or something like that. That would be kind of cool.
That'd be kind of interesting, yeah. And like the living at the end thing would be great. I've never thought about it. They've never done that. But yeah, if they did like a reveal, yeah, because you could be in situations where it's very tense and two people know what's happening, but they can't talk. And that would be kind of, hopefully that's what they do at some point.
I hope they do something like that. But I grabbed a couple of my physical media releases for the Scream series since we're on the topic. So here's the 4K for Scream, or as some people lovingly call it, 5 Cream.
5 Cream, yeah, I love it.
For some reason, Scream, they just called it Scream, and then they, thank God, decided to call the new one Scream 6. Which I'm very glad. And then here's everybody's favorite.
Boo!
Screform, as I like to call it.
Screform.
And then here is the trilogy set that I got on Blu-ray. It comes with 2 documentaries or whatever, which I've never watched, but I've heard are very good.
I've never seen those either. Yeah, I have.
And then I got this before I got that box set whenever it first came out on Blu-ray.
Nice.
And I do not have Scream 1 or 2 on 4K yet. I may or may not get those at some point.
I have the trilogy, the new one on 4K, and then I've got 1 and 2 on 4K. I don't have 4. I didn't buy 4. I didn't
get 4 for the longest time, but then I got it. And then I have this. The
nice
Ultimate Scream collection that's got like the 3 movies, and then it comes with a exclusive DVD ROM.
Very late 90s.
It is very late 90s, because like on it, like there's like all this weird ass shit that's on it. It's got like trailers for the Stab movies on it.
Mhm.
And then it's got trailers for other movies that guy made from Scream 3, like his other movies.
Oh,
It's got
really?
fully made trailers on it. Yeah, there's one on there that's called The Scared Bitch Project. I remember that.
So is this
And like,
like?
it's so weird, like a bunch of weird ass shit. And then it's got like stuff on there like where you can like edit the scene together where Cotton gets killed and you like mix in like deleted scenes and shit. You can like re-edit it.
That's weird, huh?
I remember playing around with that a lot whenever that came out. It was a little fun thing, and it's got like a Scream 3 Scream Saver.
Is it got the Creed soundtrack on it?
You know, unfortunately not, but it should, man.
That's awesome.
It should.
I think I've got I don't know if I have all 3 of them. I've got 1 and 2 on VHS. I might have 3 on VHS.
Oh yeah,
I'm not
shit.
sure.
Hold on. Let me grab that.
I'm not
here,
sure.
Oh, here it is.
Nice.
I got it's still sealed.
Oh wow, it is. Damn.
And then hold on one second. Let's see. Oh. All right, here we go. I got the ensemble VHS tape.
That's the one
And
I
then
have. Yep.
And I got, for some reason, I have 2 that have Nev Campbell on them.
Nice. I don't have
no
that.
idea why I have 2. They did one of these that has every person on the front. Yeah, see, it says exclusive Nev Campbell edition. Also, and then it says also available Drew Barrymore, Courtney Cox, and ensemble cast.
Yeah,
So,
I've seen that one, but I don't have that one either.
And then I got this right here that is my Scream 11x17 poster that is personally signed to me from Nev Campbell and Matthew Lillard.
Oh, sweet. That's pretty awesome.
And I think that's all the Scream shit I have. I don't think I have any more Scream stuff. I'm pretty sure that's it. I don't have any one sheets. I am thinking of acquiring a one sheet for Scream 2, but maybe. Oh, and then you can see I got this sealed VHS tape for approximately, let's see. I don't think that's going to focus.
Oh, is that a Goodwill?
It's a Great Escape.
Oh,
it was
nice. Okay.
99 cents.
Man, and that would not be 99 cents now.
No. A sealed Scream 2, that's like $100.
I mean,
I have no idea. It's probably not worth much, but
that'd be at least probably $30, I would think, depending on who sells it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's another thing I was going to say. We've got to do a video. I think we're going to do, obviously, our next video is going to be about Scream 6.
Yeah,
and we're going to have a discussion with spoilers, and we're going to talk about the movie, what we thought, and where we'd put it in the series and all that fun stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But then after that, I was thinking a fun video that we could do. Maybe not our next video. Could be the next video after that. Who knows? But show off some VHS tapes. So
that would be fun.
That'd be a really fun one.
Yeah, we should do a VHS one, like a 10. That I've got some odd ones, so that would be a lot of fun. But so I guess we'll wrap it up. I guess so. The next episode, we're recording this March 8th, so Scream comes out tomorrow, 6. So I guess we'll see. But I'm thinking probably the next episode will be Scream 6 spoilers. So we'll see how it all lands, where it is. But yeah, I guess until then, I'm John.
And I'm Josh.
See y'all later.